Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including Lolonyo FM in Hohoe, Word Community Radio, and ATL FM in Cape Coast. We're also on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, SuperSem, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. And coming up, residents of Gomoa Akramang in the central region flee the area after a chief there was brutally murdered in cold blood.
Well, she says the later got access to the room of the deceased, her husband. They dragged him out and then started butchering him with a machete.
We'll hear from the wife of the chief and get the latest from our reporter on the ground. Also,
the cleanup can never be over. Cleanup is continuous. And if we don't do it in a continuous way and you do it in such a drastic manner, we'll have the effects that we are having now.
Financial services sector cleanup not ending anytime soon. That's the prediction by a corporate governance expert. Meanwhile, founder of defunct UT Bank takes on the central bank's action, saying the process may have been interfered by political actors.
We don't need policemen at dawn 6 a.m. as if it's a rolling school. And I tell you, the governor that I met, that is Dr. Addison, is a decent gentleman and he has merit. How come he can act anyhow? In other words, the political parties that we have, they interfere with the appointment of the people.
We'll hear from him and get updates on recommendations by key stakeholders on cleaning the financial services sector. We also have sports.
Players of the Black Meteors team remain positive of their chances against Algeria, despite talk said they will be beaten in Algiers later today.
And as the new academic year gets off today, we'll hear from the Ghana National Association of Teachers, which says it has not embarked on any strike action, stating the action of the 6 regional branches of the association is illegal.
We are even at a loss as to whether these people are genuinely the original chairman that they propose to be. Some have their own preconceived ideas and they decide to go and talk about things that they have no knowledge of.
Stay for details and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. What you hear there is the wife of a sub-chief of Gomoa Akramang in the central region who was killed Monday morning, sobbing uncontrollably. 28-year-old Esi Teria says about 30 men carrying clubs, guns and cutlasses stormed their residence before dragging her husband, Nana Ejiri, out of his room. She says the mob later slashed her husband's head with a machete and hit him in the head with a full concrete block. Although she cannot tell the exact reason why they lynched him, she suspects it has to do with disagreements over land. She's been speaking with my colleague Maxwell Agbagba.
Well, she says just when she was heading to work, she had 6 months old baby. She had just finished bathing her. So when information came that there's a mob heading to their residence, she didn't even finish dressing up her child. She picked her up and then she picked a cloth and then they all stepped out.
So that time no mubu achirwana and the bad back when they started no muko dina the gates na no mutu
Mutu then.
Etu abubo akola ni gate abubo akola ni gate no mutu no so na otientim.
Well, she says some people some of the people there at their residence at that point started firing warning shots. A warning shot and a 2 pound no more. Well, they were shooting at their door. They were shooting at their door and then the residence, and then the girl, her daughter who was in her room at that point became scared and started screaming in the room. Into the nearby, or started kicking the nearby.
Yes, I never found the PA free, neither no shame no.
Well, the screams from her daughter got her father to step out of the room into PA free them and I didn't nearby.
Every day, intimacy, I saw the bab, you know, watching the call, you know, who said. Who say what then? No, sounds watching the call share never power. No, as catch him say, on much that. Yes, Anna.
Well, she says her daughter stretched her neck and then watched towards, looked over to the room of her father, and then realized that the deceased had been slashed with a cutlass. In the time when you open
Satam no angase bie dan no motwe no mkasa sa no hye dan no motwe ni free dan mu no mo start so
Well, she says they later got access to the room of the deceased, her husband. They dragged him out and then started butchering him with a machete. So omuchucha no sa
omuchucha na omotwe no nti ayesa no omotwe no gina anim hoye. Yes, I know. I'm trying to not the America should be trying.
Well, she says her husband was running away from the mob.
Yes, I know. Uncle na Edina Chintina Muan, so Mudina Jaffa, Papa Biffy or Nuanas, Muina Dinechi, Afan Nuanas and Makacha and the Banam in the Shadam was so. I'm running in Piana, young Mrs. Oak. Nay, you damn liquor. Into medium, I wish you be in the middle corner and Matians or Mokun, and a day Yakuno.
Well, she says when she finally got a chance, her husband tried escaping from the mob, but later when she also tried getting out of the residence, then she heard some shouts coming from the mob that, oh, we've killed him, we finally killed him, we killed him today.
You have a 28-year-old wife of a sub-chief of Gumwa Akramang in the central region who was butchered on Monday. Sorry if you find that what you heard there offensive. But Maxwell Agbagba joins us on the line from the scene of the murder. Maxwell, brave interview there. But does she have any idea what could make anyone kill her husband in such a manner?
Well, she suspects a reprisal, and it has to do with some disagreements over land. Of the community we have been speaking to have been telling a gentleman in the community said,
we'll try and get Maxwell to reposition, but we can hear from Esiteria narrating what her suspicions are.
Well, she says there are disagreements over land in this community, and she suspects that that was the reason for the attack on her husband. What am I saying? How many months?
6 months.
Well, she says she has a 6-month-old baby, and that's the only child that she has with the deceased. Time almost says cast near the idea no police for her.
Sadam no afraid police for the Sadam is Grambonier, so you have police for.
Well, she says at the time that they started vandalizing properties at their residence, they called the police, and then her husband also called the police to come and save the situation. You send a blog be at that baby or would edit to you. At the end of the blog there.
So we and a muku to a boy back who got a blog no the bonnet.
Well, she says after her husband was killed outside by the mob, she was told that a gentleman actually took a full concrete block and then hit his head with a concrete block. Can we a for an accident?
We will go find the gas. I will come here. Mitsia Mokasana. Mitsia was nice at minimum. But my woman.
Well, she said the voices that came to a residence sounded familiar, and some of them were speaking Fanti. And some of them were also speaking Ewe.
Now, Maxwell, we're told the immediate family members of the deceased have fled his home. What have you observed? Hello, Maxwell. It looks like we've lost Maxwell Agbagba there on the line, but you heard the account of the wife of the sub-chief of Gumwa Akramang. So Maxwell joins us back on the line. So Maxwell, I was asking about the immediate family members. We told they've fled the home. What have you observed?
Well, there are 5 different rooms here. All are locked right now. I'm told by some of the residents that the sub-chief had 2 wives. All of them have fled his residence. The immediate family of this place. Just some minutes ago, we had a team from the CID headquarters. They arrived here on the ground, about 25 of them, a lot of them picking some evidence that. So as a start.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Maxwell's line is failing us at this point. We'll try for the last time, but Maxwell Agbagba there reporting from Gomwa Akramang, and as you would hear, CID members are on the ground now investigating, and he's been interacting with residents as well. We'll bring you more of this in our subsequent bulletins. You can also read about it on myjoyonline.com. Now, 4 Nigerian nationals have been arrested by the East Legon police at Trasacco to face 4 for what eyewitnesses describe as attempted murder of a Ghanaian house help. The victim, who was chained and beaten to pulp, had a scarred face with bruised face and blood oozing from his mouth and face. Joy News' Latif Idris was at the charged scene and reports the agitated the Ghanaian youth almost unleashed mob justice on the 4 Nigerians.
The occupants, we are told, are Nigerian nationals, 4 of them. And this is one of the 4 vehicles that have been vandalized by the irate youth of this area who got agitated as a result of the failure by the occupants of this apartments to open the gate for them to go inside and rescue the man who was crying for help, to one of the vehicles, which is the last of the 4, away. But the residents say, had it not been the intervention, we could have had blood murder on our hands Tuesday morning.
That is a security room was say, my last day in the end, or kind of brothel. So man go school, grand, me last day. My last day in the end, my last day in the end, and I'm okay.
I was walking past the house when I heard a terrified voice crying for help. So I approached the gate, and after knocking for a few seconds, a heavily built man came out. After inquiring from him about a terrified voice and the call for help, he ordered me to walk away. An order I defied and insisted they open the gate and free the young man. That created misunderstanding between us. And so in the course of the commotion, he stabbed me, as you can see in my palm, with a broken bottle. But I didn't give up. I managed to mobilize the youth in the neighborhood to help rescue the chained young man whose head was swollen and was bleeding from the head and the mouth.
Gateway gidi na ma gate ni eden o man kasa bie no ya o wa na o mo se an mi di agora o be kire me se me ye Ghana ni na emom no mi me ko jail na o mo ye den e o na me se it's my motherland ebi mu di o mu moja na ye den egu so and se mi wu a the same land. Se be din trust asman to amfa me nginam. Fa bujem. Brother. Masa, edru jaka. Mu hana mu kumba no. Muteria.
Attempt to get a police patrol team to intervene failed when the officers in the vehicle told me they were busy working on something else.
Said the beji bribe was some way so no. Se mi twa ntro abosom kume. Se se man tro kume. Apra na kume.
You heard the Latif Idris's report. Apologies for the disturbing news this afternoon. But away from that, the exercise by the Bank of Ghana to cleanse the financial services sector should not be a one-time event. That's according to lawyer and corporate governance expert Marian Bano. The central bank's decision to clean up the sector has been met with mixed reactions, especially because several banks and financial institutions were shut down and many jobs lost. Madame Bano insists the lack of good corporate governance will always necessitate regular cleanups. She was speaking at a 3rd Financial Services Forum organized by Joy Business in Accra today to assess the impact of the cleanup.
The cleanup can never be over. That is my view. When you go to a dentist and you clean your teeth and they are sparkling white, subsequent to that, you put the candy in your mouth, you put the caffeine in your mouth, you You do all kinds of things. So you have to go back for another cleanup. So I think that we have to discuss this in the right context, that cleanup is continuous. And if we don't do it in a continuous way, and you do it in such a drastic manner, we will have the effects that we are having now. So it will happen again. Because the human mind, greed, selfishness, coupled with either incompetence or indifference in the boardroom, will make it happen again. That is why we need the right structures in terms of corporate governance, which will act as a barrier to all the things that we've witnessed. Exacting accountability, exacting transparency, making sure that the directors are working efficiently. Let us have the mindset that there will be continuous cleansing.
You heard there Marian Bano. She's a lawyer and a corporate governance expert. Now, in his part, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Ogbami-Tete, admitted there could have been better information sharing among regulators.
There could have been better coordination or sharing of information among the regulators, because I think that didn't really go well in the past. And I think that we are looking at how to forge a greater cooperation, sharing of information. So, because if we take, let's say, the fund managers that I license, you find that they would have been doing deals or placing money with Bank of Ghana regulated institutions. So once there's a problem, let's say a bank going down or a savings and loans going down, and a fund manager has exposure there, it has that kind of effect. So the interconnectedness, the emergence of financial conglomerates, and then the fact that the regulators could have done better in terms of coordination, sharing of information, I would put that as contributory factors in addition to the previous one stated why we are where we are.
Reverend Daniel Ogbami-Tete, Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, meanwhile founder of defunct UT Bank, Kofi Amoabeng, is today questioning the processes leading to the shutdown of some local banks. He describes current governor of the central bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, as a decent gentleman whom he cannot understand why he acted anyhow, supervising the process. Mr. Amoabeng's UT Bank is one of the indigenous banks collapsed for liquidity challenges and failure to meet banking standards. Mr. Amoabeng believes things could have been handled differently.
You look at the way UT was arrogated. They didn't need policemen at dawn 6 a.m. as if it's a rolling school. And then GCB staff and the press at 6 a.m. to close a bank, and then go and destroy the signages as if it's some satanic shrine. Now, why I'm saying that is not how banks are closed down. And there must be a process. And I love it. I mean, I'm not saying UT should have been kept at all cost. If UT wasn't doing well, and the government decides that for whatever reason it will close it down as the process requires. Now we have issues where other banks were closed down under different circumstances. Then you don't know, depending on who is giving the instructions. And I tell you, the governor that I met, that is Dr. Addison, is a decent gentleman, and he has merit. I'm sure he's a good governor. So how come he can act anyhow? In other words, the political parties that we have, and it's everywhere in Africa, they interfere with the appointment of the people. Either they will appoint somebody who hasn't got the merit, or you appoint somebody who has a merit but who pull the strings. So this cleanup, which is not complete, as my friend here said, is going to come back again because the powers that be will go around proper corporate governance and regulators because they put them there and they will still pull the strings. So for Ghana, we have a problem, and in the whole of Africa, we have a problem.
You heard the founder of defunct UT Bank, Kofi Amoabeng. Let's go on the line now and speak to Joy Businesses, Philip Namfuri, with an update on what participants have been saying largely. Philip, I'm sure that Joy Business Financial Forum has ended. Give us a wrap of what participants have been saying.
Nafa, thank you very much. So it was a very fantastic event. A lot of issues came up. Let me focus on a number of them. Let me start with the issue of compliance. we have a raft of reforms that have come in to the banking sector, into the securities industry, the insurance, and the pensions. Now, the key question or the key issue that came up here is how do we ensure compliance of the already laid down processes and procedures? Because it will be without effect if we do not ensure that compliance is followed to the letter. Another issue that came up was education, particularly of the directors. Being a director of a bank, particularly, and even any institution, you must have some sort of grit, some sort of erudition to understand processes, procedures of the industry you are directing. So for banks like this, they were calling for more teaching, education, and training of the directors of banks. Because if you look even in the financial statement of a bank, you realize that the directors have a key responsibility to churn out financial statements even before the auditors come in there. So compliance, education. Another issue that came up was the regulation. We have 4 main regulators in the financial system: the Bank of Ghana, the NIC for the insurance, the Securities and Exchange Commission for the securities, and then the National Pensions Regulatory Authority.
You heard there Joy Business's Philip Namfuri giving us a wrap of the 3rd Financial Services Forum organized by Joy Business in Accra today. Now let's head to the classrooms, because the Ghana National Association of Teachers says it has not embarked on any strike action, stating that the action of the 6 regional branches of the association, as they say that is illegal. According to the association president, Philippa Laston, majority of the concerns raised by the 6 branches have been resolved. This comes as many public schools across the country reopen for the new academic year today. My colleague Nancy Fadra visited some schools and has just returned. You were in the classroom, my first day at school. The teachers in the classroom, and how did the first day go, Nancy?
Oh, so MFI, I visited a few schools, about 4 or 5 schools, and I saw a few teachers on campus. But they tell me that they're not going to speak to me on record because they'll be victimized. And even though they agree with their mother union about the concerns they have raised, they feel that, first day at school, they need to be there for the children and help the parents with the processes. And so they cannot just go on a strike action and stay at home whilst the students suffer. So that's why they also decided to come to campus.
But how are the children? High spirits?
Oh, it was beautiful. She let me go to those in the kindergarten and primary 1, singing their rhymes and all of that. It was just a beautiful sight.
Wow. But we're told that there was going to be some medical screening that did happen.
Well, for the centers I visited, I did not see. I only saw them registering their awards, the parents registering their awards for school.
Okay. I can see the smile on your face. It was my first day at school indeed. Now, the 6th Regional Association accused the Ghana Education Service of, among other things, failing to resolve many challenges raised by its members. As I said, it will begin a strike action beginning today. But Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, says the Finance Ministry has begun clearing the backlog of salary arrears, adding the outstanding matter should be resolved soon. He spoke on PM Express on the Joy News channel.
We've had an extensive meeting with the Finance Ministry. These salary arrears and transfer grounds and whatever that have been on the table for a while. Some of these things date back to 2012. As we speak now, we've cleared those backlog. We now catching up with the times. When we put all together, it comes up to about some between 40, 60, 70 million. And they have indicated that they're making an effort to clear all that backlog. So over my auditors and budget staff and finance people worked through to make sure that they work to get it well, do the verification.
Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwah, in addition, the national body NAT says is distancing itself from the actions and call of its members to return to the classrooms. Here's General Secretary of NAT, Yawi Champong.
But I don't have the power to even declare strike without reference to the National Executive Committee, made up of members across the whole country, and have to justify before them why we need to embark on a strike. So like my president said, we are even at a loss as to whether these people are genuinely the original chairman that they propose to be.
But they raise quite a number of issues. You think they're not valid?
It is because they haven't gotten the right information. There are some regional chairmen who call me personally to find out exactly what the challenges were, and I explained to them. Maybe that informs why some of them are not on that list. Some have their own preconceived ideas and they decide to go and talk about things that they have no knowledge of. Because we are the people who are engaged day in, day out with the ministry and with the Ghana Education Service. So if you have any challenge on any of the particular issues, nothing stops you from coming to this office or calling us for us to explain to you.
You heard that the General Secretary of NAT, Yao Echampong. Meanwhile, the Minister for Education has described recent teacher agitations as founded. We'll hear from him, but first, let's speak to Labour Commission Chairperson Ofusua Samoa on the agitations. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. You indicated that this strike by NAGRAT is illegal. How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, first let me correct the impression. I'm not the chairman. I am the executive secretary of the commission.
Thank you very much for the correction.
Well, in the case of the NASDAQ, they have declared a strike. Well, nobody has a quarrel with strikes in this country because the strikes are permissible by law, and that it is guided by law. It is only where you don't follow the procedure as provided by law, the Labour Act, Aspect 5 of 2003. That is where it becomes a legal or illegal strike. In the case of the NAGRAT, from our records, it shows that we have no notice of the strike. And before a strike is legal, parties they should have been negotiating, there must be breakdown in negotiation, and then one party, either party, any of them can declare a strike or a lockout. But the first thing is that the Labour Commission must be notified, and we have no records of any notice from either party to a strike or a lockout.
So no notification from NAGRAT, but going forward though, because we're told they've declared a strike, what's going to happen?
Yes, we have invited them to the commission tomorrow on Wednesday to come and justify the strike.
Well, you heard there, Mr. Ofosu Esamwada of the National Labour Commission. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll hear from the Education Minister on this.
Let's go, My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go.
Kremasa, Ghana, so we pay correct medicine pa. And you make us super. Me a super medicine ankasa. Because our job no enye better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement at the use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Intere me crimes in from me cause super. Because me the super cement and dimity ra.
Super cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Supersem Cement. Build your dream. Build.
Ago, my people, the Electoral Commission announces that the exhibition of the Voters Register comes off from Tuesday, 10 September to Tuesday, 17 September 2019 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. All those who registered from the 2012 after 2019 registration exercises should go in person to their polling stations to check if their names and particulars have been properly captured in the register. Go with your voter's ID card to facilitate fast checking of names. If you have lost your ID card, you should still go and check. Go to the polling station and have all your complaints resolved. Help ensure a clean and credible voters register by helping to remove names of deceased relatives. Come along with burial, death or obituary notice to help clean up the register. Let us help clean up the voters register to ensure free and fair election. Remember, the exhibition of the voters register comes off from Tuesday, 10 September to Tuesday, 17 September 2019 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily.
And quickly, Benedict Owusu will fill us in on the latest from the world of sports.
Well, written off, no chance of making it. That's what the Black Meteors team are dealing with ahead of their must-win Olympic qualifier against Algeria later tonight. With a very sloppy play in a 1-1 draw in the first leg last Friday, well, many feel Algeria will be too hard for Coach Tanko and his boys to deal with. But left-back Gideon Mensah is hopeful of their chances of making it.
It's been a long time we went to the Olympics and then all those kind of things. So then it keeps us going and then keep us motivated that we have to bring something to Ghana and then not to give us pressure. I mean, the pressure is still going to be there. I mean, that we want to win and all that things. But then these sayings give us only motivation to bring Ghanaians what they were expecting from us.
And of course, Gideon Mensah is in that starting lineup for the game. Kwame Ban will be in post. Kingsley Fobi will be at right back with Gideon Mensah on the left. Habib Mohamed Nicolas Opoku will play in center defense. And then Michael Agbekonu will play as a defensive midfielder with Isaac Chumya, Yeboah Benatepete, and Joseph Pintel, as well as Dauda Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Benedict. Let's catch up with the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. He's on a tour of the first day of school, and he says that teachers working for a period without receiving payment, even though it has become a norm, shouldn't continue. We can hear from him.
Placement results are out, and we don't hear the noise that has been there. It's a tremendous improvement. We still want to get it even better. So nearly 75% of the students got placed in the first round. 25% are doing self-placements. Nobody is in. You go onto the website, you don't get your school, the options available to you come, you choose the school and the residential status you want, and you print it out and you go to school. That is a tremendous improvement. Just over 2 years ago, but even December, school is struggling for computer placement. We made the computer like a wizard. Now the computer is living reality.
That's the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, ending today's edition of the Midday News. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am MF Apau. Thanks so much for your company.